Welcome to Learn Biology, and we're still on the topic of basic chemistry, and today we'll be explaining compounds. So the definition of a compound is a combination of different elements in fixed and unvarying proportions. Pay close attention to fixed and unvarying proportion. Now, to explain this better, we'll be using an example, and we can use H2O, also known as water. So we can begin with the different elements. We have hydrogen and we have oxygen. So this is just giving you a better explanation of what the definition of compound means. Another part to this is proportion. So as we can see here, the proportion here is for every 2 hydrogens we have 1 oxygen. Now this is the tricky part. What this is trying to say is that if we change this subscript, if we change the elements, if we change the proportion, this whole compound changes. For example, if we change the subscript here, which is an imaginary 1, and we change that to a 2, this whole compound becomes hydrogen peroxide instead of water. So it changes from drinkable water to a antiseptic. So this is what the fixed and unvarying proportions means. We cannot change the proportion. We cannot change this. I'm just going to change the color here to red. So we cannot change this unless we want to change the compound. So the compound of H2O will always have 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. So moving on to the next topic is a molecule. So what a molecule does is basically describe a compound. So let's say we have an apple tree, for example, and on this tree we have apples. So apple, apple, apple. Now let's say that we can only see this apple. Now just from seeing this one apple, we can conclude that this is an apple tree. And we can also conclude, let's say we see another apple, we can conclude that these 2 apples are the same because they are on an apple tree. Now this is exactly what a molecule is. It is the smallest unit of a compound that describes the describes and gives the characteristics of the compound. As we can see that we have an apple here, so seeing one apple gives us the characteristics of the whole tree. So this is the compound. And some rules about molecules is that it has to have a covalent bond, and usually they don't have a charge, usually no charge. It is neutral. So moving on to the next property is a mixture. So what a mixture is a combination of 2 or more elements in varying proportions. What varying proportions mean is changing proportions. There is no fixed rule of the proportion. So here is a glass of lemonade, and in the lemonade, let's say, is lemon, also which can be citric acid, citric. There's water and sugar. So this is a mixture because there is no chemical bond between these 3 substances. So using a sieve we can separate the water and sugar, and then using, boiling the lemonade, we could separate the lemon or the citric acid from the water. So a mixture is not chemically bonded, so no chemical bond, and the proportion can change. This would still remain a mixture if we had more lemon than water, a lot more sugar, because each of the substances are individual and can be separated. So that is what a mixture is. Thank you for watching Learn Biology, and next time we'll be moving on to a whole new concept in basic chemistry, including ions and covalent bonds. See you next time.